your time, walk through exactly what happened 3 weeks before Obama released the latest long-form, supposed final real birth certificate, and what the new intelligence source, the new information that the intelligence source is giving you. Because, folks, I mean, what Dr. Corsi's saying here, you know, they could have a grand jury come after him. He could be pulled into court. He could be forced to release this. He wouldn't be doing this right now if this wasn't true and going on. So I hope you understand, we're now entering the realm of total proof. Not just that he fought it for 3 years with $2 million, moved the lawyer into the White House who was fighting it, stonewalling, saying with his operatives, Mr. Maddow and Mr. Slimeball, that this is the birth certificate 2.5 years ago. I mean, just desperate activity on their side. The thing stinks to high heaven. The Republic of Kenya classified document released that, yes, the Obama records have criminally been removed. There's evidence he was born in Mombasa. I mean, here it is. He's releasing it. Corsi wouldn't be doing this now if he didn't 100% think he had the bona fide. So slowly go over your mole inside as much as you can give us. And when are you going to have Farah come out and substantiate this verbally, swear to it publicly? I believe you. You wouldn't be doing this.
Well, I did even more than that. I'll give you the exact chronology. It was just before February 24th. I got a call from my source in Hawaii and said that someone had gone into the logbook, a very trusted bowl, and the long-form birth certificate for Obama had suddenly appeared and was inserted in the book. Read it enough to know that Kapilani Hospital was identified as the hospital. Knew a doctor was listed, didn't have time or was too scared to get the name of the doctor. Now, on February 24th, I'm looking at it right now, I drafted an article. It's date-stamped February 24th at my computer. I can send it to you, Alex, as proof. The article was written, says, WND warned to block possible future release of fraudulent Obama birth records. And this is February 24th. It's date-stamped this way in my Microsoft Word file.
So you even wrote a story that you didn't release.
We didn't. We decided not to release it because it decided we hoped the White House would release this document. See, we named the book "Where's the Birth Certificate" to try to frighten the White House. I knew the White House could not tolerate if anybody read this book. People read this book, Obama.
And their hopes that they had released it was falling through, and so you forced them out in the open.
Yeah, and I knew that Joseph said we're not going to publish this story, tipping them off that we know a fake document has now been created. Let's get them to release the document.
You've got to release that original story with...
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. It's date stamped February 24th. You can see in the log to this, I created the story on February 24th.
Okay, but I don't want to publish it first if it's WorldNet.
You can publish it first. If you want to, I'll talk to Joseph. Maybe we can do a story on it immediately, but...
Yeah, but you see my point. The fact that that's the proof that you knew this was going on before it happened. Man, this is big.
The paragraph of this story is, WorldNet Daily has been warned that certain government officials in Hawaii have been contemplating releasing fraudulent Obama birth records that WND knows it has in its possession information that will be able to prove the forgery. We had information that will prove the forgery. See, even when I wrote this February 24th...
Unbelievable.
I knew they were going to release it, and I knew we could prove it was a forgery.
Unbelievable.
And we didn't publish this article because we didn't want to tip off the White House that we knew they were going to release the fraudulent document that we could prove it was a forgery. I'll send you the article.
Well, we need to... absolutely. If you send it to us, I'll have one of my writers do a report on it right now, and then you can follow up or vice versa. I don't care. But for me, and I'm asking you if you agree, Dr. Corsi, that is such incredible proof that you had the intel inside and that you knew it was coming just a few weeks before and had this article ready. I think you should write a breakdown explaining why you guys didn't release it.
Let me read you what else I wrote. Originally, they were planning to release the fraudulent birth certificate in the run-up to the 2012 presidential election. We took away one of their October surprises. Joseph and I said, let's make this book, Where's the Birth Certificate, so explosive that they have to release this now. I want to read you these two paragraphs quickly. WorldNet Daily's confidential source further warned that any fraudulent Obama birth records originating in Hawaii will be sufficiently expert but the forgery can only be detected by forensic examination of the original, possibly not from digitized copies or photographs circulated of the forgery on the Internet. It turned out that the forgery was much poorer than we thought it would be, and we have enough, even with the digitized copy the White House released on its website, to prove it's a forgery. The next paragraph, WorldNet Daily cannot release the identity of a confidential source without risking the person's life.
Unbelievable. Now, again, read us for those that have not seen the unpublished a report that you had ready, but Farah and you decided not to release so that you could catch them with their pants down. Read us that headline and as much of the story as you can to us.
The headline said, WorldNet Daily warned to block possible future release of fraudulent Obama birth records. And WorldNet Daily has been warned that certain government officials in Hawaii have been contemplating releasing fraudulent Obama birth records, and that WorldNet Daily has in its possession information that will be able to prove the forgery. According to a top-level WorldNet Daily confidential source with access to officials within the Hawaiian government, the long-form birth certificates issued to the Nordyke twins one day after Barack Obama was born create a barrier for anyone attempting to produce a fraudulent long-form Kapiolani hospital-generated birth certificate for Obama. What I'm referring to there is we knew that they were going to continue the document as 10641, and which was registered August 8th. 3 days later, the Nordyke twins were registered August 11th. They were 10637 and 10638. From the time of the certificate of live birth, the forger picked the wrong number. They've been locked into that to the beginning. And what my source in Hawaii said is, press the Nordyke numbers, because that shows that anything fraudulent that the Obama administration releases as the long-form birth certificate, as long as it's got the original 10641 on it, it's a fraudulent document.
For those that don't know, that was a big old-fashioned numbering machine.
Bates numbering machine. One of those Bates automatic machines that incremented by one. And I have the 1955 article from Charles Bennett, who was the guy who created, he was the Register General of Hawaii's Department of Health. He created the system of birth certificates. The article specifies that the birth certificates were numbered immediately after. The Registrar General stamped it. It went into the books with the number he stamped, and it's impossible for a birth certificate that was registered 3 days earlier to have a higher number as a birth certificate than birth certificates registered 3 days later.
Well, I'm just speechless right now, and not only did you write this 3 weeks before Obama released the birth certificate, you called everything in the article that was unpublished. What happened? This is incredible.
We had the document read to us from within the vault in Hawaii. The person went in and read the article, and we knew what it was on the document because it was read to us.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the absolute key. Your same mole previously had said it's not there, but now they call you and they go, suddenly it's there.
That's right. We've been told when Abercrombie was looking that it didn't exist, and then it suddenly existed.
And that's confirmed by Abercrombie, thinking he's off record with the reporter who kept the recorder going and just added it as a footnote in his article that Abercrombie said, yeah, we thought it'd be there. It's not.
And I think this is equally important to what we've released. You've got the Kenyan documents there, Kenyan government stationery. Grandma Sarah has been saying for years Obama was born in Kenya. The Kenyan government took it seriously. Kenyan government determined 1961 birth records in Kenya were criminally altered so as to erase Barack Obama's birth certificate records and to disguise the fact that they'd ever been there.
Well, I'm going to say this.
They reported. You've got the second document. The Kenyan government even told that to Rannenberger, our ambassador in Kenya under George W. Bush, was inquiring about Obama's birth certificates. George Bush administration had reason to think Obama was born in Kenya. Not just recently, it goes back to George W. Bush inquiring through Rannenberger to the Kenyan government as to whether Obama was born there. And the Kenyan government sending back a response formally to Rand. Those are the documents you've got in your hand saying, we don't have Obama's birth record, but we have reason to think it was criminally destroyed.
Yeah, here's the request from the U.S. Ambassador for President George W. Bush on birth records for Senator Barack Hussein Obama. Now we're learning that this was being taken so seriously even then that the Republican leadership, the president, was looking at it. Here's the other document. When they went to try to find it, it had been criminally removed. I mean, when you look at this, no one, knowing this was going on, would not release the long form, instead spend $2 million, move the lawyer that's on the case into the White House. They've been haunted by this. They've been terrorized. Instead, they have that joke, that fraud, Slimeball Matthews, Mr. Maddow, all of them, I mean, Rachel Maddow, sorry, get up there and say, this is the birth certificate. There's no such thing as a long form, insulting Americans' intelligence. Then we get the long form. It looks like it was made in Crayola. And then now, oh my, I mean, this is so huge, Dr. Corsi.
It is huge. And, you know, I've had sources in Kenya, continuing to today. I've had sources in Hawaii. I've hired private investigators. I've been working with intelligence experts on the islands in Hawaii. I've been given the inside track on this story from the very beginning. And now even you've got the Immigration and Naturalization Service file on Barack Obama Sr. verifying what I've said from the beginning, and that was they never were married. It was a sham marriage from the beginning. Ann Dunham had been frequenting Bill Lederer's bar on Hotel Street in Honolulu. She got pregnant. She wanted Barack Obama to be the father. Barack Obama wasn't interested. Ann Dunham flew off by herself to convince the family in Kenya she should be the princess. That's the story.
Incredible. And then Harvard comes out and confirms it. The State Department confirms it. All these wives, fake marriages, babies everywhere. I mean, any moron. That's what they say in Kenya. Obama looks nothing like his daddy.
And also you've got the Immigration and Naturalization Service files rejected Obama's marriage to Ann Dunham as grounds on which he could be extending his stay in the United States because it was a sham marriage. They couldn't find a marriage certificate, like I can't. The two never lived together. Like I pointed out, even the birth announcement was the grandparents' birth announcement. And they weren't entirely convinced the baby was Obama Sr.'s to begin with.
Doc, we're almost out of time. You would not put yourself out on a limb. Obviously, if you were lying, they would try to trump something up. The White House has already arrested members of the press for whistleblowing, now calling it espionage. You are in danger. You are politically being assassinated. They're trying to assassinate your character. They're pulling out all the stops through their surrogates with dirty tricks to destroy the book. They are acting like people who are 100% guilty. Then any examination of the evidence shows they've been covering up and are desperate. And
I want people to read the book. That's the thing. They're trying. The White House knows that if the American people reads my book, Where's the Birth Certificate? The case Barack Obama is not eligible to be president. Barack Obama will be removed from office. He's not eligible to be president. I prove it and what's so damaging about the work I do is in the book, you'll see 125 exhibits and glossy pages. I show you my original documentation.
And it's all available at Infowars.com if folks want to support all the work we're doing here. Dr. Corsi, I know more is coming up soon. If you send me the WorldNet Daily article,
you'll have it as soon as we're finished.
All right, well, we'll put it up. Just give me the green light, and I'll do it with a link to all your reportage at WMD.com. But in closing, where are you planning to try to file criminal charges?
I'm going to report on it. I decided that the expert will file the charges himself, and I'll report on it. The charges are, the expert is a top scanner expert worldwide. He's going to file the charges this week. I'm writing up the report hopefully for this week or next week. I've got a lot of radio, but we're working on it. The WorldNet Daily staff is aware of it. We're working on doing the reporting. Criminal charges filed with the FBI that the long-form birth certificate released by the White House on April 27th is a fraud.
Unbelievable, unbelievable.